In this lesson, first we will try to understand what is Git, and then we will have a hands-on discussion of Git commands. So let's get started. So what is Git? Git is a version control system, VCS, to track and store changes of your source code. This is what basically Git does. Now, if we specifically talk about the VCS or the version control system part, it is a software to track and record changes made to the files meaning your source code or any other file over time. So suppose you have a code, you have version 1, version 2, version 3, the changes are recorded and you have the ability to revert back to previous file version or project version. So if you have version 1, version 2, version 3, from version 3 you can go back to version 2 or version 1 or in the forward direction. It applies to single files or your entire project. You also can compare the changes to the files from one version. Now, if you have version 1, version 2 of a file or multiple files, maybe you have added something, you have deleted something, you have modified anything, you can track the changes. You can compare them. There are certain key terms I will discuss, which is branch, basically a copy of the project source code where you can work without changing the original file. Say here on the right hand side, you can have branches, master or main branch. This is where you actually start your work. Then you can have multiple other branches like feature. So what happens from master, you start coding here at this point and then you make some changes. Then you decide, okay, whatever changes I have made, I will take that as a separate copy in a feature branch. I will start working on it. I won't tamper the master branch because that is important, maybe others are using, but I will develop something on my own, and if that is tested and that is good, I will bring it back to master so that unless it is tested, there is no impact on master branch. So when the changes are done in the branch, the way of pushing it back to the original branch is called merge. Merge is an operation to synchronize your branch with the original one or others. So these are some basic concepts. Now, to summarize the key points, Git is basically a version control system. It has checkpoints, meaning you can store the snapshot of your code using this commits, which is basically a checkpoint. It's kind of a multiverse because you can have branches as we discussed, and you can synchronize your changes using merging. We have covered the basic concepts. Now what we will do, we will start the hands-on experiment where we will install Git and then we will create a project. We would add it to Git, then make changes on the files, create new branch and all the stuff. Whatever concepts we have discussed here, same thing we are going to do hands-on. But as a first step, we need to install the Git in case it is not present in your system. So to install Git, go to Google, type download Git SCM, SCM meaning the source code management. This is the website git-scm.com and then it is directly showing downloads. Click on this. I am using Windows, so it is giving me directly this option, download for Windows. Let me click over here, selecting this 64 Git for Windows setup. Download completed. Let me go to the download location, right click, run as administrator. For Git installation, there would be multiple options where you just need to click next. So I'll do that. Bear with me. Click on next. It is showing you the destination folder. I'm keeping it default. Click next again. Click next. Keep the option as is. Click next again. Again next. Continue the same way. Click next. Again press next. Next again. Same thing. Just continue clicking on next like this. Finally, we will get something where it would start the installation. So I'm just clicking the next without changing anything. Now finally, I have the install option. Click on install. Now, if you see, completing the Git setup wizard, setup is finished. I can launch Git bash. Basically, this is the command line that comes with Git, or I can view release notes. I'm not going to do anything over here. Just uncheck this and finish. One thing I would do here is I would go to the Git installation location, which is under program files, and this is the location where it got installed. And here I have my Git bash exe. What I want to do, I want to just bring it to my desktop so that I can open it. So send to desktop. Let's go back to desktop. This is my Git bash. So let me type the command git -- version just to check the version of the Git that we installed and just to see whether things are working as expected. Yes, I can see that it is working. Now I can start the hands-on part, meaning performing standard operations using Git commands. So to get started, what I will do, I'll create a sample project directory and then there I will execute certain Git commands. So this is a sample directory I have just created and I would navigate here. Let me go to the command line. You can do it from the git bash also, but I would prefer doing it from the command line. I'm using conmu editor. You can use standard Windows command line. First, I will create one sample directory using mkdir make directory. The directory is created. Let me go inside that particular directory. Now I am inside that directory. Now I am going to fire git init. What it will do, it will create one repository. Repository is the place where we actually store our code. Git actually store the code or any file that it is going to track. So the basic command is git init. Press enter. You can see initialized empty git repository in this particular location, this .git folder. Now if I go back to this location, let me go inside this, and if I just show this hidden items, we can see this is the folder that git created. I'm back to the command line now. Let's check git status. It is on branch master. So when I did git init, it created one branch called master. I have no commits. I don't have any files at all. One thing you can notice at the end, it is saying nothing to commit, create or copy files and use git add. If I want to track any file, I can create anything inside my project directory. But unless I say git add that file name or that list of files, git is not going to track them. Anyways, talking about branches, let me just run git branch. At this point of time, it's not showing me any branches, so which means right now it's not tracking any local branch. Anyways, let me proceed. I'm going to create one file over here, file1.txt. Touch is not recognized as an internal or external command because it is Windows. What I can do, I can open the git bash, or I can open the git bash from here also, new console dialog. Instead of command line, what I can do, I can use git bash. So this is my git bash prompt. Let me try cd, the location. So I'm there and I'm going to create new file from here, file1.txt. Press enter. If I go back to my folder over here, I can see, okay, this is created. Let me add some line, maybe just a dummy line. Save it. Now, if I just do git status, the status is same because I have not done anything related to git now, apart from initializing the repository. But what it does, it is showing me there is no commits yet and there are certain untracked files. This is something new. It is telling me, yes, there is something file1.txt. You can add it so that you can commit it or you can track it. Let me do that. Done. Let me try git status again. Now it is telling no commits yet, but we can commit this file. It is showing file1.txt. But before we commit, we need to do two things. We need to set the user.email and user.name. It could be a global option. It could be a local option also. Let me add my email over here and execute this command. Similarly, I'm adding username. Let me clear the screen. Just do a git status. Now commit this change, git commit -m initial commit with file1.txt. It is telling one file change. Let's run the git status again. Nothing to commit. It's clean now. So what we have done so far, we have created one repository, added one file, file1.txt, and committed that. Let me do git branch. It is showing me the branch master now, and there is one asterisk because we are working on the master branch now. Another important thing over here is we have made the commit, we have seen the git status. Git log is a very important command where we can see the commit history. Let me type that, press enter. It's showing this is the commit, who is the author, what is the date, and the text message which we added during the commit. Now I'm going to add few more files and then I will try to commit them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create few files the way I did for file1.txt. Let me clear all this up. File2.txt, done. File3.txt, press enter, done. If I go to the directory, here we are. Let's check the git status. It is telling, yes, there are two files, but you need to add them. I'm doing git add dot so that I don't need to individually mention all the files. Let's see. Now again, I'm doing git status. Yes, it is telling there are two files or rather changes to be committed on branch master. If I don't want to add them, there is a concept called stage. When we add a particular file, Git adds it to a stage area. From stage area, you can commit it. But if you decide not to commit it, you can remove it from stage also. So what I'll do, I will remove one sample file, maybe file3.txt, and I'll keep file2.txt just to understand the on stage process. Press enter. Now again run that git status command. What I have changes to be committed, file2.txt, untrack files, file3.txt, because we just unstaged it. So just added this commit message, press enter. Now let me check the git status again. So only untrack file is file3.txt, that is fine. Now I'm going to create a branch, the concept that we discussed earlier. Let me clear all this. So git branch and then the branch name. I'm naming this branch as feature branch. You can name it anything. Press enter. Now if I type git branch, it will show me both of the branches, master and feature. The asterisk is beside master because we are right now using master. If I want to go to feature or use feature, I need to type this particular command, checkout. So git checkout, then the branch name. It says switch to branch feature. Now if I just type git branch, the asterisk would be beside feature branch. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make some changes in the feature branch. So in order to do that, what I need to do, I will manually make some changes. Let me go here, maybe file3.txt. I add something. This is the file3.txt. Let me go back to the command line. Just type git status. I have to add this file3.txt. Press enter. Just check the git log. Only showing the last two commits which were in master. Let me commit this file. The commit is done. Let me just clear all this. Check the git log. It is showing me all the three commits, and if you see here up to this it is showing master. Here it is referring to feature. Now I want to move or merge all these changes from this feature branch to the master branch. For that I need to check out the master branch. Let's switch back to master. Just type the command git branch. Right now master is selected. Now we can use the command merge, and this is basically git merge, then the branch we want to merge to. In this case it is features, so we are trying to merge this feature branch into our master branch which is selected. So right now the merge is done. As you can see over here, the change that we did for feature branch is we only added file3.txt. So it's mentioning that only file3.txt is there. Only one file was changed, one insertion. So here what we have done, we have basically created a repository. We added few files, we committed them, we created branches, we have merged them. So more or less the basic commands we have explored. Another command I want to show is just to check the difference between the commits which we discussed initially. So let me clear this all commands and all. Just type git log, and here what we have certain commits, right? The commit, initial commit with file1.txt, and then we added file2.txt. There is one important command which is git diff. It is basically about the difference between two commits. Let me see with the commit id how it works. I'll just take this particular id from the second commit and then this one. Press enter. It's saying deleted file. Actually the order that I gave, that was wrong. I should give the first commit at the beginning and then the second. Then it would have shown me that it got added. Let me try this again. So instead of trying this, I am just going to put this id at the beginning. Let's run this now. So now it is showing me that yes, new file was added, which is file2.txt. Similarly, we can compare any commit over here. So we understood the basic concepts of Git and the basic commands of Git so that we can relate the basic concepts with the day-to-day practical usage. In case you found this video useful, I would request you to like and share this video, and of course, subscribe to this channel. Thanks a lot for your time. Have a nice day.